Hello and welcome to Futrsmpl Friday Live episode 19. It's just me today. It has been a very busy week with work, with getting lots of things done, which is fantastic, but it has meant I haven't got my hands on a guest. So what I'm going to do this week instead, for a bit of a change, I have to admit, I did consider whether to just let this week lapse. Just like, would anyone know if it didn't happen? And we just kind of moved on to next week. But I have set this as a goal for myself, as a goal for the business, to do these weekly. So if I don't have a guest, I need to just get on with it and do it myself. So what we're going to do this week is I have answered the question topics that we have quite a lot. So I found a random conversation starter website, and I am going to just randomly answer a few of the questions that it pops up, and we'll take it from there. It probably won't be as long an episode as usual, purely because I'm not sure I can talk that much. I usually rely on the people that I'm with. I just ask the questions, they do a lot of the talking. This time it's going to have to be me. Really sorry. But anyway, let's go. Okay, so first question. Let's get another question. What is something new that you have learned in the past week? So this is very much like one of the questions that I have. What is something new that I have learned in the past week? Maybe not new, but definitely something that is worth bearing in mind. Communication, really explaining what it is that you are trying to say and asking more questions. Ask lots and lots of questions, because the way that you ask a question can affect the answer. So we were running some focus groups last week for a client, and it's always interesting how you can ask two very, very similar questions, expect to get the same or similar answer, but actually you get two very, very different answers. And it's also the method that you ask it as well. So we asked, we had similar questions within a focus group, and we also had questions in a questionnaire, an online questionnaire. So how they answered the online questionnaire is very different to how they answered it in a focus group. So that was kind of interesting from a methodology point of view, from understanding how people work, but also just on a day-to-day level of how do you communicate with people, and how do you make sure that you're understood, and how do you make sure you really understand what it is that they are looking for and what they are asking of you. Because it's so easy to think people understand and to think you have said something, but what they heard might not be what you had meant to say, or what you have, or the other way around. So repeat yourself in a couple of different methods just to kind of say, or there's always the good one of, if you want someone to kind of say, to get them to repeat it back to you. Get them to repeat it back to you. That's probably a good one too. So not a new learning from this week, but a one that I think is always worth coming back to, because it's amazing how often communication can break down over the simplest of things. If you found £100 on the ground, what would you do with it? If it was just sat there on the ground, I would probably first look around to see if someone had just dropped it. Or then in this day and age, I would probably be thinking it was some sort of prank, and is someone watching to find out what I'm going to do with that £100? Probably. It's not... I mean, if the question was if someone just gave you £100, that was very different. That's kind of like a moral question of what would you do with £100. So I would probably, £100 is quite a lot of money, so I would probably look around, see if anyone had dropped it. If it was near a shop, something like that, it would be Had someone drop this, hand it in somewhere, I think. Okay, so I'm skipping through a few now because there was one there about what's your favourite pizza topping, what would you prefer to eat at home or eat out. Let's find. How did you get your name, and do you know the meaning of your name? I'm going to answer this one on 2 levels. So my name, my personal name, as in just me as a person. So my name is Lucinda Carol. So my middle name is my mum's name. My first name, I don't actually know why. I think they just liked it. I think there was a few options, but I think they just liked it. But it means light, which is quite nice. So it's either Latin or it's quite common in Portugal apparently. But it means light, which I quite like. And then Futrsmpl in brand terms. So the name Futrsmpl, I actually had to ask a copywriter friend of mine to help come up with the name for the company, because I knew what I wanted it to say, but actually putting my finger on something that was functional, that could be a brand, is very different to something. So I think I just wanted to be a company that was about keeping things very simple and had a core in marketing and strategy. But keeping things simple was supposed to be the core. And I guess I kind of wrote a brief and sent it away. And the first name that there was a huge long list of names that he came back with. But when I was working through it, I was like, right, I'm just going to be simplifiedmarketing.com or something, which narrows us down a lot, means that we only focus on marketing rather than some of the other things that we can focus on. And it was a mouthful. It wasn't slick, any of those things. And the copywriter friend came back with a few options, and one of them was Future Perfect. So if you've seen our brand name, it's FUTRSMPL, and this was FUTRPRFCT. So without the vowels after the U again. And I liked it. I liked that it was kind of shortened. I mean, it's a weird one for me, because sometimes I find that shortened words are a bit of a bugbear, but at the same time, I see there's a reasoning for that. But I have this thing against perfection. I don't think there is such a thing as perfect. I think we are always learning, and we are always striving for something new and to improve. And I think if we said that we found something that was perfect, we'd be lying. And perfection can hold people back. People that are perfectionists often, or there's a perfectionist theory within entrepreneurs that if you are always striving for perfection, you might never get something out of the door, because you're waiting for something to be perfect, but you don't know what's going to be perfect until you've sent it out to people. And anything good should evolve around the needs of its customers. So I didn't quite agree with Future Perfect, but the meaning behind it. So Future Perfect is actually it's a grammatical term for something that is going to happen in the future. Mostly it is in English grammar, but it's used a lot in French grammar. French grammar being a little bit more in use, I think, than English. If that means anything. But anyway, so when I said that, he came back and said, well, what about Futrsmpl? I was like, awesome. Because Futrsmpl actually has the same grammatical meaning, but in a simpler sense. So there's a perfect tense and a simple tense. So this was the Futrsmpl. So it still meant getting things done, which is what we're all about. We want to get stuff done, get it out the door, make sure it's working, and keeping things extremely simple. So that was where Futrsmpl came from, and I still love it. Next one. Are you clean or messy? I'm messier than I should be. Definitely. In work world, I like to know where everything is, have everything very ordered, have lots of spreadsheets, know where my files are. I like to know where everything is. And I do sometimes have this kind of clean desk thing where unless my desk is clear, I find it really difficult to concentrate on stuff. In home world, I am completely the opposite. Totally the opposite. I'm not going to go into any more detail. What things are you passionate about? Oh, that's such a good question. What things are you passionate about? So today I think it's piano for me. I don't know whether I'm passionate about it all the time though. I think so. So today I've been on a bit of a rambling mission. I have always played the piano and I love piano, and it's a bit like my stress relief. It's my kind of thing that I do to get all of that energy and whatever, to get it out. Good energy, bad energy, in between energy, just it's a release. It's kind of like my stress relief. And my grandfather bought me a piano from when I was like 13, and I pretty much took it everywhere with me, and pianos aren't that easy to take everywhere with you, and they're really heavy. And then when family comes along, there's not really enough room or willpower to take a piano up 3 flights of stairs. So we had to say goodbye to the piano, and I've not had one for a long time, and I miss it so much. And I think today, I was thinking about it, I was trying to work out why today I really wanted to play the piano so much. Because there's a little shop up the road that has a piano in it, and you can go and play on it, but it was shut. But I'd got everything ready to go, and it doesn't have opening hours on it, so I couldn't wait. I had to just kind of trundle up and see. And so I got outside and it was closed, and I actually tears pricked up, because I just really wanted to just let out whatever I was feeling. I don't even know if I know what I'm feeling or what I was feeling, but I just wanted to let it out, and that's how I do it on the piano. And yeah, I think I really miss it, but I think it's been because this week it's been a lot of hard work, but also my other half's been working really late, so he's been out most of the week. And so it's just been me, and I think maybe a bit of it is actually just loneliness, because I have children, so once they're in bed, they're gone to bed, and then for the next few hours it's just me, and I either sit back down and do some more work, which I did for a few nights, and I think what would have happened a few years ago had I not been in current family situation and had my piano, I would probably have just spent those evenings sat at the piano. And I think that's probably what it is, that I've missed that out. But if I hadn't had a slightly lonely, stressful week and been really wanting a piano today, what would I be passionate about? I think I am passionate about reasons and whys. Why are we doing what we're doing, and how can we make what we're doing count? Not just in a monetary sense, but in a reflecting on everyone else's sense. Not everything is or can be for the moral good, but what little things can we do to support that? What little things can we do to make it count? Whether that's working with charities, or whether that is having more of an impactful business model rather than operational, whether that is thinking about corporate social responsibility, any of these things. But what does it mean, and what does it mean to you, and what does it mean to everybody else, and how can it have a wider meaning for everybody? I think. And I think I'm passionate about marketing being for good and not. So marketing is one of these topics that you will go to, or maybe it could just be me, but you go to networking meetings, you go to a lot of different groups, and there's always a couple of people in there that do marketing. Oh, I'm a marketer, but marketing is a huge area. It's such a huge area that everyone can be doing very, very different things within that. but it all gets kind of boiled down to one thing, and it's often kind of a, oh right, kind of topic. It's not a, oh fantastic, oh that's brilliant, tell me more about it. Everyone's like, oh, okay, and literally glazes over. Don't really mind. But for me, I just think, like, how can you explain what your business does? How can you get all of those words out there without marketing in some sense, shape or form? It's not always about adverts. It's not always about output. It's not always about social media or any individual thing. It's about how you sum up your company, how you tell people about it, and how you create a community, how you create a place for your brand and for your business. And it should touch upon every element of your business. It shouldn't just be a thing that gets done at the end and you need to tell people about stuff. It should be really integrated with everything within your company. It's about your culture, it's about your values, it's about your goals, and so much of it is intertwined with businesses themselves. But there is so little respect for marketing, and I'm not saying that in terms of, oh, I wish people would respect my job feel more than they do. I'm saying that in terms of, there is so much power here. Why aren't we harnessing it better? Why aren't we using it better? Why aren't we understanding it and integrating it more? And there is a change. There's definitely a shift. There is a lot more people that are understanding this. And there's a shift in terms of people. So you've got the likes of Skyscanner that are rebranded marketing, you could say, into the growth area. And you've got people that are now head of customer. They might have been head of marketing, but they're now head of customer because they're the ones that should be really focusing on what the customers want and need. And that's really what marketing should do. It's how do you understand your customer, talk to them, find out what they want and provide them that in a profitable manner. As if that's how business works. And that's so wrapped up, and everything should really kind of come into that. But we all seem to be afraid of it, and it gets a bit of a bad reputation. But does it need to? Should we not be doing better? We know more than this. We know better than this by now. Why can we not make it better? Is it better to work at a job that you love or a job that pays well? So as someone that is now running their own business and often not getting paid very well in the scheme of things, and often, some months not getting paid that much at all. But overarching, Regina, right now, just so you know, I think that comes down to what your priorities are in your life. I think there are going to be people out there that are going to do a job that pays well so that they can have a good family life and provide well, and it's I think it's really down to your values. For me, I want to have a job that I love and be able to provide for my family and all of those things. I love doing what I do. And I'm not very good at sitting back and not doing anything. So if I'm going to keep working and I'm going to keep ploughing, I want it to be into something that I love doing. So for me, it's better to work at a job that I love, and hope, and actually just work at it so much that it does become a job that pays really well too. Make it both. Why does it have to be one or the other? What do you like to do on a rainy day? Well, in Scotland, it's quite often a rainy day, so just do what you do on every other day. Would you rather be granted 3 wishes of your choice 10 years from today, or be granted 1 wish today? So this is almost like an investment question, isn't it? Long-term goal, long-term or short-term? Would you rather be granted 3 wishes of your choice 10 years time, or granted 1 wish today? find wishes a weird thing. I think I have seen too many, especially recently, now that I've got like a 3-year-old, so many like wish programs, but there's so many things of something that you wish for then turns around and bites you. So part of me would rather not wish for something, but work at something. If it fails, pick it up, move on, do something else, than rely on a wish to change things. Because I think you need to understand a lot more stuff than just wish for it. Describe yourself in one sentence. Describe myself in one sentence. Describing yourself is always much harder than describing other people. So I am a passionate business owner that wants to help other businesses in ways that will really assist them in ways that they want to work. And I also happen to be a mum too. That was maybe 2 sentences put together. What's the first thing you do in the morning? The first thing I probably do in the morning is tell Harry to go back to sleep once he's come in to try and wake us up. So, mummy, time to get up. And I'll just be like, no, 5 more minutes. I've not changed much from when I was, constantly asking. If you could acquire any skill, what would you choose? I always used to say I wanted my superpower to be that I could understand and converse in any language, because I think that would be awesome. We have so many language barriers. I mean, there's not so many language barriers because there's lots of translation services out there, but wouldn't it be amazing to just go to any country and just understand what they're saying and be able to speak back to them, and do that with as many places as you possibly could? Because I'm always in awe of people. In Britain, we speak English and that's it. We know a few odd words, but so many other nationalities have 2 or 3 languages. And I'm always in awe that they can just slip easily between them. And I just think that would be really cool. So yeah, let's say that with skill. That I could, although acquire means that I'd still have to learn it. What do you miss most about being a kid? Doesn't really have anything to do with business, but I don't know actually. Everyone always says, oh, I wish I could be a kid again. All of this responsibility, you've got to deal with bills, you've got to do this, that and the other. But I hated school. I think I wasn't chronically bullied. I wasn't like beaten up or anything, but I just didn't have a good time. I didn't enjoy it. There was it's just the mean chat and the mean people. And I didn't enjoy it at all. So I always think I would not want to go back to being a kid, because there's so much just ununderstand. Maybe actually, I don't know. Harry's at quite a cool age, like 2, 3, you're just playing with stuff and you're picking things up, and words are exciting and seeing new things are so exciting, and you start to see things in their eyes and you're just like, I wish, you wish you could still have that sense of awe about the world around you, but we're jaded to it because we've seen it so much. So yeah, actually, okay, what do I miss about being a kid? I think I miss that sense of awe, miss that sense of, wow, this is amazing. We should take more time to actually look around us and go, isn't this beautiful? What is one of your favourite words or phrases? So what we always go on about at Futrsmpl, about trying to be jargon free and not use overused phrases. So it's quite weird to think about what my favourite word or phrase is. I'm usually thinking about ones I shouldn't use. Probably... I don't know. It's actually quite difficult. What's your favourite word or phrase? Or one of your favourite words or phrases? Don't know. I'm going to have to skip it, so otherwise we'll be here forever. A useless superpower. If you could choose to have any useless superpower, what would you pick? So I suppose this is going on from me thinking that superpower of languages. What would I pick for a useless superpower? The ability to stop hiccups. What's your favourite thing about winter? Favourite thing about winter is fires, warm jumpers, wrapping up warm, snuggling up on the sofa with a hot chocolate or a mulled wine. And yeah, I think so. Try to find a reasonable final question. If you could meet anybody in history, past or present, who would it be? So in a business sense, I think it would be interesting to see what Steve Jobs was like and ask him a few questions. In a personal sense, it would probably be my granddad. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there because this is getting really rambly. But next week I am going to make sure that there is someone else here to speak to, not just me, and there's actual content and all of that jazz. Because next week will be our 20th episode, which is really quite cool. So yeah, have a great weekend. Stay tuned for a less rambly topic next week, and enjoy International Women's Week next week.